Welcome to another edition of Enterprise Tomorrow Conversation Series. Today we have a very special guest, someone whom I have known for a long time, someone whom I regard very highly for reasons which are multitude. So she is Dr. CJ Meadows, and I would request Dr. CJ to give a quick introduction about herself because I don't think I will ever do justice to her background and her work if I were to do it myself. CJ?
Oh, bless your heart. I'm the director of an innovation center at a Forbes Top 20 Global Business School and have a background in both building technology as well as building tech with Accenture and business strategy with Accenture. I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years. Beyond tech and business strategy, I've now moved more fully into design to find human needs and how we can design solutions for them. And the heart of innovation is at the center of technology, viability, and design, finding what people need and want.
Wonderful. So, CJ, true to the thesis of this conversation, right? So, there has been a lot of chatter around how enterprise of tomorrow will look very different from enterprise of today. And no one disagrees on that. But probably where people might have disagreement or difference in perspectives is about how the enterprise of tomorrow will look like and how is it going to be different from enterprises that we see today. So, if I were to ask you, what is your vision of how an enterprise of tomorrow looks like, which we are marching towards? How does it look like?
Absolutely. I mean, I envision the enterprise of tomorrow as being human-centric as well as technology-centric. You know, when I was doing my Harvard doctorate in business administration, I looked at information and communications technologies and how we can seamlessly have teams coordinating across the globe and work as a human species. And now, in the age of big data, we see emergent intelligence coming out of the internet and all we do with that, as well as IoT. The enterprise of tomorrow will integrate artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, and all the things that our tools and machines can do with what is essentially human that our tools cannot do. We need to integrate more seamlessly, and I do believe that jobs will be broken into tasks. Our career profile will be broken into skills and capabilities. And these, in Lego bite-sized pieces, will be combined, the things that we need to do and the things that we can do, with artificial intelligence engines that make our organizations less structures, industrial age structures, and more AI-driven marketplaces where humans focus on what humans do best with our tools.
Wow, super interesting, very elegantly put. So there is one thing which caught my attention really, right, and which is something which we as an organization have been hearing from our clients and helping them handhold as well, which is about tasks being managed and skills being managed as the pivot to ensure performance, right? Because one thing that will not change as enterprises evolve to the tomorrow which we all talk about, the impetus of business performance, the impetus on people performance will not change for sure, right? It will only go up. But in that scheme, managing tasks and managing careers or managing skills. So, how important is it going to be for organizations, and where do you think technology will play a role in doing that?
You know, I do believe that technology will play a role not only in coordinating what people need to get done, but also who needs to get it done. We will leverage people within our organizations, which are internal marketplaces, as well as external marketplaces. So we will have more networked organizations. Beyond that, our tools will also help us build our own very human capabilities. So you can take, even today, a brain print of your style and your capabilities. If we put the skills on top of that, you can actually have kind of like a thumbprint of a person and see today what are that person's skills today and what are their attributes today, and map that into your organization. Okay, what is it that we need to go with thousands of other people or even two other people? We should be having artificial intelligence that helps small and large organizations. So, number one, coordinating what we do. Number two, building our own individual human capabilities.
So that's super interesting. And I want to, before I lose a thread of thought, I want to touch upon one particular point which you mentioned here, which is about bringing the thumbprint of an individual, right, from a skills perspective. Now, bringing out the thumbprint of an individual from a skills perspective, is that a responsibility of the individual or talent, or is that the responsibility of the organization? It's a classic moot point which we have debated over the years. But do you think in the enterprise of tomorrow that's going to change at all?
Honestly, if an organization wants to manage its humans well, it's going to have to do that sort of mapping. All right. However, you're not going to stay with an organization for your entire lifetime. Those days are over. They've been over for like 50 years. So if you want to manage your work life, you will need to also do that sort of mapping for yourself, and that information should be shared. Um, One of the things that I found incredibly useful was a brain mapping through HBDI, which explained why I love strategy, business models, design, and all that sort of stuff, and getting things done, and program management, project management, and actually making things happen and go back and forth. The sort of brain mapping that I did helped me understand who I am and what kind of careers I should pursue. Now we have the opportunity with additional systems to map the particular skills that I have. They will fade, some will fade over time, like my ability to program a certain language. Some will not fade very quickly, such as the ability to do design thinking or strategy. But both my organization and I need to understand my attributes and my skills in order to partner me with other people effectively to do things that are beyond what I can do as an individual.
Very interesting. So, as these things evolve, right, how was engagement as a concept going to change? Because whether it is task management, whether it is skills management, understanding an employee, understanding employee from an individual perspective, keeping the human touch, all those things ideally should feed into enhancing the engagement. But at the same time, we have also seen that sometimes too much of technology reduces engagement as well. So where does one draw the line, and where do you think it is all moving towards from an engagement perspective?
Even beyond engagement, which is a multifarious thing, I would come back to simple human motivation. What is the number one most motivating thing for your employees? How do you motivate employees? Research shows that people are most motivated by simple impact of what they do. If you show them the impact of what they do, they are motivated to move forward. But the key here is people ask me, how do I motivate my employees? What do I need to do? And my one word answer is don't.
Why would you say
Don't.
that?
You can't. I'm sorry. Listen to them. Find out what is important to them and what motivates them. Enable and support what your people want to do and combine those activities and motivations in your organization to achieve an organizational objective. But you cannot motivate people. You can only support them. So get to it.
This brings me to my favorite question these days, which is about what should actually be driving me to work. Should it be my passion, or should it be my purpose, right? The easiest answer is to say both, but I think over the years I've kind of understood that passion as and purpose may not be the same, right? So if I were to be going to work today, and that's a classic question which I have been thinking to myself, should it be because of something which I'm passionate about, which may be transient, or should it be because of a purpose, right, which to me can be relatively more stable? Because I think understanding that is where the lever towards driving the talent in your organization also lies. So, what would your thought process be around if I were to ask you this question?
I love how you've asked about passion and purpose. And it roughly translates to me to something that I struggle with as both a leader and a worker myself. And it's not only passion and purpose, it's also process and outcome. Sometimes I am terrifically committed to an outcome and I care about it. And it's a damn job. I don't enjoy getting there, but I really care about that outcome. I want it to happen. It's important to me. But then again, there's also process, things that I simply enjoy doing.
Hmm.
And we have to think also about our employees' energies. They will be energized by, as well as expending energy in things that they enjoy, the processes and the passions that they enjoy. However, those are just hobbies unless there is some purpose or some outcome. So we need to manage both as organizations and as individuals. Don't get so burned out that you lose your passion and your process going for purpose and outcomes. But at the same time, use your passions and your processes to achieve things that are worthwhile. And there needs to be a partnership between the organization and its people to do both.
Very interesting. So, if let me rephrase that question to get a little more insight out of this, because as I mentioned, this is my favorite question of the season. Right? See, when it comes to, so did I understand it right that aligning the purpose of an individual with the purpose of the organization is what will ultimately assure performance, while at the same time aligning the passion of an employee to the day-to-day tasks is what will drive performance? Is that complicated, or is that a simple way to put it? Because that's how I
Oh,
gathered it.
it's simple and it's beautiful. I love how you put that. So the passion of an employee and their enjoyment doing what they do needs to be aligned with day to day what they do in the organization. And the purpose of the organization and the outcomes that they want to achieve need to be aligned with persons, outcomes, and purpose and what they want to achieve. So it's all about alignment. And when you're misaligned, it won't work. Nothing will work.
Absolute. So moving on to a different perspective to or different part of the chatter about, or the perspective about enterprise of tomorrow. It is about data and analytics, right? So data and analytics is, interestingly, every time someone talks about data and analytics, you feel that it's a fresh topic, but the reality is that it's been there for ages, right? Even in the world of technology, it's been there for more than 3 decades now, at least in mainstream. But still, I find over the years of conversations with customers and helping them in their analytics journey that even though the appreciation of analytics is profound now across all layers of organizations, across all sizes of organizations, the application of analytics is very limited. It is still in at the highest level as a dashboard, as a BI, or as a glorified, glamorous BI for the management to understand what went wrong or what went right. Or let me use that as a tool to plan the future. But day to day, an average employee does not get the benefit of analytics, right? So to me, augmented analytics, meaning augmenting the day-to-day tasks and activities of an employee as a data coach, is to me augmented analytics. And that to me is ideally a center point of enterprise of tomorrow. I'll be very keen to hear any perspectives from yours on, is that a right perspective? Do you agree with this perspective? And if so, how far are we from that?
Absolutely. And there are some leading edge companies that are doing a beautiful job in not only working analytically at a leadership level to do prediction or strategy, even emergent strategy as opposed to deliberate, but really driving down to the employee level to, as you're doing your job, help me do my job. Team Streams, for example, is a great company that provides salespeople with the information they need while they're standing in front of a customer to do the job well, to give the information, to get the prompts that they need to do their job. So there's two things that we need in future. Number one, analytics that help people do their job on a day-to-day basis with some AI sort of help. And number two, analytics on a continual basis that help improve the human that works day to day with the AI.
All right, excellent. So CJ, I wanted to do a closing question. And the closing question is from one of your opening statements about the importance of an organization being human-centric. So one of the potential issues which I see about people imagining enterprise of tomorrow is too much of technology, right? So sometimes technology for the sake of technology is being deployed all around. We can see that. A lot of technologies are created and which are waiting for a problem. So there are a lot of solutions out there which are waiting for problems. So the classic human mistake of sometimes you have created a solution, you don't have a problem, and the market forces drive you and the intellects drive you towards a point wherein you create that problem so that that solution is deployed, is something which sometimes worries me. So where does one draw the line? Or how do you ensure that an organization still remains human-centric while technology comes to augment that human centricity? So any views, any perspectives on that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do have perspectives on that, especially as a design thinker who takes the possibilities of technology and the business models that can make it viable. But what we seek first with that background is to find human needs and design solutions for them. Technology placed in the marketplace without a real human need will fail on its own. It doesn't need our help to fail. Technology that's placed in a marketplace to solve a human need 10 times better than we can do it now succeeds beyond our wildest expectations. Technology is a tool. And as I've moved forward from building technology to using it for business strategy, I've moved into the area which actually winds up creating more value of finding human needs and designing solutions for them. Our technologies make things possible, but we've got to find what's worthwhile. And our technologies cannot make those decisions and design the solutions. We need people to do that, but only in intimate partnership with our technologies.
CJ, as always, wonderful perspectives, very thought-provoking, and I always learn when I speak to you, and I'm sure so will our audience be. Right? Thanks a lot for joining us in the conversation and being a partner as we evolve our thinking and aiding organizations as they evolve to the enterprise of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.